can live it. We can live it. That good life, yeah, so we can live it. Yeah, that good life.
All right. Hey, welcome in everybody. It is the episode 2 of the J.O.B. podcast. I am Dave Ford. This is Ty Steele. Say hi, Ty.
Hey guys, how y'all doing?
Hey, we want to thank you for hanging out with us today. We tried to hype it the best we can, saying we were going live, so we started a little bit late today, but hey, better late than never. A couple of things we want to talk about real quick as far as what's going on coming up. We've had some very good feedback, some serious feedback from some close people of ours who are going to add to discussions of police violence, police brutality. Wow, we're going to have a variety of things to talk about on that. And we're probably going to wait till, if not the next show, the one after that. We want to start soft and then get a little bit more serious. We're also going to tease, we're going to be getting into the discussions of domestic violence and also emotional and verbal abuse. Now, Ty actually talked about that in his, he did a video about it was last week.
Yeah.
Did it last week talking about generational curses.
Yes.
Talk about that for a minute. Go ahead.
Yes. Generational curses is it's a big thing. I know the Bible talks about a father passing on some of his curses to his children. In one essence, David's house was like cursed forever, it seemed like, because of what David did with Bathsheba. The rest of his house was cursed. His son raped his daughter. That other son ended up killing that son for raping his sister. So it was so much turmoil that was within the family. Now, this doesn't mean that because my dad's a sinner, I'm going to go to hell. No, right. The good thing is we all know Jesus, and we can repent for all of our sins. But if we never get it right, if we don't get ourselves in position to say, hey, I need forgiveness. I don't want this to pass on to my next generation. Those things follow us. Generational curses are real. They are powerful, and they affect a lot of families, a whole lot of families, especially in Bay County. That was one main thing that we had to deal with growing up, was generational curses. It's amazing to me that a lot of young men right now are not raised around their father, but they act just like their dad. You would hear moms all the time saying, oh my gosh, why do you act just like your dad and you're not around your dad? Why are you acting just like him? So we do have those things that we need to talk about. Of course, the dog wants to play with me.
Everybody, this is Monty, who is the ultimate therapy dog, keeping us company today. So for those of you who know Monty, there he is. Very good boy. He's a golden doodle, and this is what he does. So he's hanging out with Ty right now. If you hear a little duck sound thing in the background, that's going to be Monty working out his aggression on an inanimate object. So, our main subject today that we're going to get into, those of you out there have seen the show on Netflix. It's a 4-series show now called Last Chance U. Now, Ty told me just last night, and I was completely shocked, guys. I'm just going to, full disclosure, the man hasn't watched all 4 seasons. And I've been obsessed with this, okay? You've been spending most of your time watching The Flash and Supergirl and all that.
Yes.
Which I love all that stuff too. There's only so much time in the day, you know? So, I guess I want to premise this, Ty, with, you and I, our relationship goes back to coaching. That's how we met.
Oh, yeah.
And we talked about in the first show how your little girl, Janaea, your pride and joy. You say you don't have favorites, so come on. Look, guys, she has a smile that lights up from state to state. Okay, she's a beautiful little girl, beautiful spirit, and I had so much fun coaching her. The beauty of coaching, and it's personal. It's personal with me. It's personal with Ty. We have never gotten into it for the money. No. We were blessed enough to get a little check for the camp that we just did in Panama City Beach, but that helped pay the bills. It did, and we're blessed. We're blessed to get it.
Amen.
Paid the rent, paid the mortgage, and it got us afloat for a little bit longer. But you know what? The kids that we met, the parents that we met, the letter that I shared all over the place on my page, on Ty's page, I shared it. those parents were so grateful for what we did. And we may have lifted their son's spirit because he was going through a tough time. He was on a travel team.
Oh, yeah.
And he was getting buried on the bench.
Oh, yeah.
Guys, I was buried on the bench in high school. I know exactly what that's like. I know what it's like to fight every single day to get on the court. And you feel like you're not getting anywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? You feel like that everybody's against you, which is not true. You know, we have the wisdom now being adults where when you're a kid, you're like, oh my gosh, coach hates me and I can't blah, blah, blah. It's not really about that at the end of the day. There's only so many minutes to go around.
Yeah.
Okay? And you have to make that one play. And we told as parents that night, maybe it's about making one play. It's not really about the coach.
Oh, yeah.
It's about how can you get on the court, okay? And so to tie in what I said earlier with the Last Chance U show, if you haven't seen it and you have Netflix, which I don't know who doesn't have Netflix on the planet Earth right now.
It's better than cable right
It
now.
is. It is. I don't have cable anymore. You don't have cable, right? Did you get away from it?
Yeah, I still got it.
You need to cut the cord, man.
My
Let's
wife
go.
loves reality shows.
You got that in your house, right?
Oh.
If you have kids, you have a reality show in your house.
Every day.
Please check out Last Chance U. It's something that even if you don't like sports, it's really more about life.
Oh, yeah.
Without us getting too far in, what did you think of the few episodes that you watched? How did it hit you personally, and how did it let you know, man, I think I'm doing the right thing?
Just seeing all the different situations that these young men go through. It's so easy. I won't say it's easy. It's very hard to become a Division I athlete. To be linked up in ESPN top 100. You're number 1 through 20. Your name is everywhere. But then you start realizing, like, dang, I didn't do what I was supposed to do in school. So now I have to go to a JUCO or I need to find it. Everybody has that sob story, and we're finding out that's going on with a lot of our athletes here in Panama City. So just seeing the struggle of the kids is what really hits home with me. Now, coaching styles, I'm really not into all those coaching styles that they have. I mean, I get it, I understand it, but I don't know. I'm just a coach that never cursed at my kid, at my players.
Right.
I don't feel. I think I can inspire you by saying what I'm going to say to you without calling you these words. And then some of those kids, they need more chances over and over and over again. Right. But I feel like if you start teaching them before they leave here, you start getting rid of all the bad stuff they got now. When they leave, they'll be a great athlete for a coach.
It's interesting you talk about coaching styles, and that's why we're really doing this today, is because you don't really know what that is right away. I started coaching at 17. When did you start?
I was in my 20s.
Okay.
I probably was like 25.
Yeah, so you started a lot later than I did. And I got into it by accident. It was my senior year in high school, and I was buried on the bench. I was not Mr. Popular. And hi, Heather, watching out of there. She's somebody I graduated high school with. We went to school all the way from kindergarten through our senior year. And so I didn't know what kind of coach that I wanted to be and what kind of coach I should be. I just knew that I didn't want to be the coach that I had. Okay?
That makes sense.
Yeah, and I'm not, we'll keep names private. We're not going to get on here and trash anybody. That's not what we're about. We're not going to be throwing anybody under the bus. It's like anything. If you really want to try to learn from something, you don't want to repeat what was done to you. You want to try to make it better. Mm-hmm. And so I had a group of kids who were the cast-offs. We had a little draft. Well, I say we. I wasn't part of it, Ty. They let me out because I wasn't popular, okay?
All right.
So the popular players did this draft that I didn't know about. Mm-hmm. And so we come to practice the next day, like, so, yeah, Dave, so you got these kids. They're the ones that are left. You might have one good player. Mm-hmm. I don't remember the kid's name now. I can see his face. And I knew right away that I had a shot because he could handle the ball from one end of the court to the other. Oh, yeah. And everybody else was a role player.
Okay.
Now, I'm going to mention a team, Chicago Bulls. Now, when I say Chicago Bulls, you think Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks Michael Jordan. But guys, it wasn't about Michael that they won those rings. Was he the greatest of all time? There's no question about that, okay? Even though you're a LeBron James fan, so you might have a little bit of argument there.
I'm a Los Angeles Lakers fan.
Yeah. We'll get into that more later. But the link I'm trying to make here is simply this: Michael wouldn't have won if he didn't have his supporting cast.
Oh yeah.
And he had different guys on and off for his entire career. He had 2 three-peats because of role players.
Mm-hmm.
Scottie Pippen was the only guy
Wow.
that he had the whole time.
Wow.
Everybody else was different. Okay, so I had this one guy, this one kid, 13-year-old kid.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he didn't even know what kind of game he had. And I had a bunch of kids who had never played basketball before, and we won the championship that year.
Wow.
Okay, and I don't think that was me. All I gave those kids was a belief.
Oh yeah.
I told them, I said, don't look down there at all those kids that you think that are so much better, because all they'd say, Coach Ford, they're so much better, and they've played, and you could hear it in their voices. You know,
Mm-hmm.
You've been in huddles like that.
Oh, yeah.
They're too big, they're too fast, Coach. And I'd say, you know what? That's fine.
Oh yeah.
But right here, we believe we can win,
Yeah.
and that's all we need.
Oh yeah.
You coached that the last 2 years
Sure.
at North Bay Haven,
Oh,
okay?
yeah.
And you made those girls. I watched them. You made those girls believe
Oh yeah.
every single day
Oh yeah.
that they were bigger than their problems. Talk about that.
Yeah, you have to, as a coach, be able to your players are never going to see where they're at. They a lot of them in their mind, they're great. A lot of them don't feel like they're great. But I think it's your duty, your responsibility as a coach to not show your players where they're at,
Right.
but show them where they can go.
Amen.
And that's what we all talked about. So whatever team I had, I always coached for them to be on the next level.
Right.
So if I was coaching Tiny Mikes, I was coaching for you to be a Mighty Mike. Then on to Pee-wees, up to J.B., middle school, J.B., and then high school. And then when I'm coaching you in high school, I'm coaching you for college.
Right.
So I always coach my players with them in mind of going to the next level. Our goal is the next level. Anybody can go out here and win championships. That was one of my goals, to go out and not win championships, but just to show them what they could be on the next level. And then at my end result, the really main thing that I cared about was producing great members of society.
Right.
I was like, I don't care what you do, long as you go out and be a great human being.
Exactly.
That was the main goal of it. And I think when I started preaching that, everything started changing and turning around. They started to believe in themselves. You got to think, how many times throughout the day do these kids hear what they can't do?
Exactly.
And who they can't be? They hear it at home. They hear it from their teachers. And then if you're the coach who they love and they trust and they believe in, and all you can do is just curse them from A to Z,
Right.
and talk about what a piece of crap they are, they have nothing to hold on to. Especially the way mental health is going now, we've got to be positive about things.
Absolutely.
We've got to definitely be positive. So I was always positive with my team. In my mind, I was like, man, we are terrible. But I would never let them know that.
Right. Right. Well, and it's a fine line, because you and I both preach honesty.
Oh, yeah.
But you have to have that ability to separate, do I really need to say this right now?
Oh, yeah.
What is the impact? And maybe do I just never say it at all? And that's hard.
Yeah.
Ty, that's hard to do. And I'm going to throw myself under the bus real quick. And this may surprise you, it may surprise a lot of people, because I really haven't talked to Ty about my time at Mosley High School. Great experience, I'll say that. I learned a lot about me, about who I wanted to be and who I didn't want to be.
Oh, yeah.
I learned how to not coach with anger, because I experienced that there. There were a dichotomy of egos going on the coaching staff, and I learned from him, and he learned from me. I'm very grateful to Josh Vandegrift out there, if you're watching, that he hired me in the first place. He didn't know me from Adam. I was new in town when I moved into Panama City in 2016, and he gave me a shot. So thank you, Josh, for that. And I really hope that I did the best with that. I hope that that I made you and the school proud while I was there. And I say we, as a varsity squad, that year went 17-11 and made the playoffs for the first time for Mosley in over a decade.
It's wonderful.
And we went up against your alma mater. And man, did we have some battles that year.
Go Rams.
Oh my gosh, we had some battles. And we should have beat y'all. We should have beat y'all. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. I understand. Didn't make it happen. Had them on the ropes and didn't finish it. The point I'm trying to make is that I was not a good person there.
Yeah.
I was not. I was not the coach that you wanted to come up and shake my hand when I was coaching Janaea. I fell into a dark place, and I think it happens. It happens in coaching because when you have that much fire and that much unfinished business in the basement, it can become a dangerous thing. If there are any aspiring coaches out there, or if you've been in the game for a while, and you may have already been through this, don't let that be your voice.
Yeah.
There were times during that Mosley season, especially during the JV year, where I said some things I shouldn't have said. I did cuss. I would call out kids directly after games. I called them out during halftime, and then we'd go to practice, and I hadn't let it go.
Yeah.
That wasn't me, and you know that's not me.
Oh, yeah.
And that's a time in my life that we won, but at what cost? Okay, and at what cost are you willing to win, and who are you willing to tear down along the way? Okay.
Wow, that's amazing. You say stuff like that. I've had the experience in my coaching career. I've been under some great coaches, and I call all of them great because I feel like I can learn a lot from even the bad coaches.
Yep.
The bad coaches teach me what I'm not supposed to do.
Right.
But I learned earlier on to be true to myself. I've had one coach told me since I was true to myself on their coaching staff that you're like the get back coach. I go and cuss the kids out and you come right back behind me and you tell them what they can be and all this blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And I'm like, Coach, why do you want to tear down a young man who's been taught to respect his adults, respect his elders? He's on your team and you want to talk to him like a piece of crap.
Right.
I don't get that. And, you know, for the record, Coach, I'm not a get back coach. I probably know more than you know. I'm just not showing you that I know more than you know because this is your coaching staff. So I'm going to do my job on your coaching staff. I said a while ago, I want to be the assistant. I want to be the assistant coach that I want a head coach to have. You know.
Yes.
So when I become a head coach, I'm like, that's what an assistant coach is supposed to do.
Right.
So I never treated my head coaches bad. I've had situations where they really totally dogged me, but I still stayed true to who I was. But it's hard to be on a coaching staff. And I had to leave one when I seen from day one how he was going to treat the kids. I was like, oh my goodness. Yeah. I can't be here. I can't be a part of that. I don't curse. I don't treat young men this way. I don't treat young ladies this way. So I can't be a part of that. And I said a long time ago, if you were coaching, you still have to curse around kids. You're not teaching them nothing. Because you expect them not to curse and act a certain way when they're out. But if you're running around like a jack turd, acting crazy, what do you expect your players? Coaches, your players will have your personality. So whatever your players put off, if it's in a game, they're playing dirty, they're playing nasty, they have your personality. Right. It's a difference between having a dog and a fight in you. And I love one of my favorite coaches in Panama City is Coach Ross. Coach Ross coaches Rutherford's boys basketball team. I have never seen a Rutherford player get out of character on the court to the point where they had to restrain them.
No.
Now, Coach Ross coaches them hard, and they might leave, but he'll say, that's fine too. We are going to run the program that I won't run, and kudos to those guys. You can't let these young men get out of character because there'll be next chances used problem if we don't start correcting those things now. But I learned early on to stay true to myself as a coach. And I wasn't going to let anybody turn me from that.
Well, and there's a game inside the game. And when you're really talking about coaching, if you're really being honest. Now, if you're talking about rec ball, it's a lot more relaxed.
Oh, yeah.
I know that I caught a lot of flack over at Lynn Haven Rec, and I caught some flack over at Fusion. I think there were some people who thought that I was, too loud, that I was shouting too much. But it's funny because, you never really know who's watching.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? You don't know who's watching. And where I currently am now, in my position at Tyndall Air Force Base, one of the individuals that was there, his name is Brian Godden, who is actually becoming a pretty good friend of mine, coworker. In my interview, he looks at me, he says, I was impressed by you when I saw you coaching that basketball team. You guys were wearing blue. I said, wait a minute. You remember me from 2 years ago? He said, yes, sir, I remember you. And I said, did you like what I was doing, or do you remember me because I was not a good guy? He said, no. He said, your players, the way they carried themselves, they looked like they knew what they were doing. It was in control. You weren't yelling at them. You were actually yelling for them.
Oh, yeah.
And I went home that day, and I was like, wow. So that really, really is important. How you treat people, how you present yourself on a daily basis, because you don't know whose kids you're coaching.
Yeah.
You have no clue.
You never know who's watching you. I tell people all the time, there's a lot of people that don't read the Bible, don't go to church, don't do anything. And you are the only Bible that they see. Which version are you going to show them? Which version of yourself are you going to show them? Because as soon as you get out of character, they be like, there they go.
Yeah.
That's them Christians. They acting up again. I told you they're not worth a piece of crap. They're not worth any of that. And it can go from there. So I told you I approach coaching different. I can work for anybody, work with anybody. And if you had a problem with me, it was mainly on you, because I would do everything to make a relationship work, because I need to be here to learn. Obviously, I wasn't good enough to get the head job, so therefore it's something I need to learn from you and grow from that. So I take from all of those experiences, but I learned to stay true to who I am, stay true to myself, and if that gets me put out of some places, that's fine. I realize God will open more doors. People come to me all the time and they give me my pity party. Man, I can't believe you didn't get that job.
Yeah.
Oh my God, what are they thinking? Are they really that? I'm like, listen, God is in control.
Yeah.
So maybe this was not the job that God wanted me to have, because God knew something was going on that I probably didn't need to have in my life right at the particular point.
Mm-hmm. So
whatever God has for me is for me, and know that I'm going to be all right, and He's going to continue to position me to places. Because right now I'm loving myself at Rutherford High School. I love those kids. A bunch of hungry young men who they've been going through it. They've been talked about. They've been put down. This team over here is a powerhouse, and they just want to beat up on them. And I love being the underdog.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So like,
I prefer it.
I tell folks, like, whenever I'm the underdog, you need to bet on me.
Yeah.
I know it doesn't seem right, but when I'm the underdog, please bet on me. Because everything that you are saying, I am using for fuel for my players. So any post they make, anything, you best believe it was Coach Harden. Coach Harden, and when we played for Rutherford High School, they would put the player that you had to defend that week, they would have his picture and his stats in your locker. So every time you walked up to your locker, you was looking at that person you had to defend all week.
Yeah.
So when I played them in the game, I was able to say their name. Oh, you about to do this, you about to do that. But that was being a student of the game.
Right.
A lot of players right now don't want to practice being great. They're just used to being great.
Great segue into my next point. So getting back to the show, Last Chance U. So let me catch you up and just a brief synopsis. So if you want to tune into season 4, this is where what Ty just said is perfect. All the talent in the world was on this team.
Yes.
These are Division I transfers playing junior college ball in Independence, Kansas.
Oh, yeah.
Did anybody even know that was a town before it was on the show?
I couldn't be in Independence, Kansas.
No. So this team was loaded. And I don't want to be a spoiler, but I'm just going to say they didn't do very well.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? They didn't do very well at all. So much fallout. So much stuff happened. All bad because of what Ty just said. At the end of the day, number one, the team's going to become the character of the coach.
Yeah.
And I don't want to totally throw Jason Brown's his name, the coach on there. Without Coach Brown, they don't get a new weight room built. They don't get a $700,000 practice field made.
Yeah.
They don't get coaches' offices built. They didn't have any of this. Before he got there, they hadn't had a winning season in 20 plus years.
Yeah.
They hadn't won a division title. All these things. He had the number 1 graduation rate. But Jason Brown yelled a lot, and he cussed a lot.
A whole lot.
But I saw Dave Ford in him too. And last night I was watching the show with Demi, and I was like, man, this is bringing back some bad memories for me. She's like, we can turn it off. I said, you know what? No, I need to deal with this.
Mm-hmm.
I put it away, as men tend to do.
Yeah, we do that.
You men out there, let's be honest with ourselves. We are taught from a young age, be tough, don't cry. You're not going to show you're weak. Put it in the back, and we'll deal with it later, and you deal with it behind closed doors.
Mm-hmm.
We don't believe that. That's not how we raise in young men. We tell you, if you're a real man, you do need to show your emotions. Now, don't get crazy with it,
Oh yeah.
but be real. If you shed a tear, that's okay. It usually means that you care.
Yes.
Okay? If you need to look your coaches in the eyes, that means you respect him or her, and that means that you care. The dichotomy in that show, Last Chance U, I can't tell you, Ty, how many things we all can learn from that. It's not really about sports, guys. You don't need to care about football.
Yeah, it's
You don't need to know about football.
Mm-hmm.
In JUCO ball, you're dealing with a bunch of broken kids. They've come from destroyed households. Most of them don't know their fathers.
Yes.
So you inherit these kids. You're their dad now. You're their only father figure, plus the coaching staff that you've hired.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great responsibility. Not great as in positive, great as in impact. And so again, reflecting on my time at Mosley, I didn't do a good enough job there. I failed those boys there. And it's hard for me to admit that I failed at something. We won games, but I failed when they needed me. Now, I've seen some of those kids since. And if they didn't really love me, they wouldn't have come up to me. DJ, shout out to DJ. I know you know DJ.
I know DJ.
Ran into him at Popeyes about a month ago. And man, I was hard on DJ, dude.
Mm-hmm.
I was hard on DJ. I rode him and rode him and rode him. And DJ, I'm looking at the camera right now. I'm gonna tell you, I'm proud of you. Keep grinding, dude. No matter what you're doing, keep your chin up. And I'm proud of you. Thank you for coming up to me and giving me a hug around strangers. You showed me everything I need to know, and I will always remember that. I appreciate that. And I run into many players. I'm sure you run into players all the time. I mean, how does that make you feel when that happens?
It feels great. To my wife, it looks weird. She was like, "Baby, you look kind of weird. This little girl is coming up hugging you, and that looks strange." I was like, "I know." I was like, "But I don't know what I put in these kids' life or what I've said. Something has always inspired them."
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, those kids didn't lose. They had a great guy. The main thing, you're able to go back and say, "You know what? I failed." A lot of coaches are not. Their ego won't allow them to say they failed. You can ask all my middle school players, and this is how I play. I don't really play mind games. I shouldn't say that, but I play games with my kids. We'll lose a football game,
Yeah.
and I know it's going to happen. It's just any given Sunday, anybody can win.
Right.
We lost a particular game, and it was pretty close, and we ended up losing, and the kids were down on themselves. And me as a coach, I'm putting the responsibility on myself first. I was like, guys, I want to apologize. I didn't do a good enough job coaching this game. And this is on me.
Yeah.
This is why we lost the game. But I tell you what, I was like, Monday, when we get back after it, Monday we're gonna get after it. We're gonna work harder. We're gonna be better. We're gonna be stronger, faster. We're gonna play hard next game. And Coach Ty is not gonna allow you guys to feel like this no more. This is on me. And I was like, let's break it down. Let's pray. Let's break it down. By the time we're done breaking it down, and everybody's walking off, and the parents are coming up to me and they're shaking my head. It was like, thank you for that.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for that. And the parents really feel like it's the coach's fault.
Yeah.
But my players, one of my players, I won't name his name, but this kid loves me. He's always messaging me. He was like, wait a minute. Coach Ty didn't have the football in his hand. Coach Ty didn't run up and down the field. Coach Ty didn't drop the ball or fumble the ball or throw an interception. That's on us. But if he's man enough to take responsibility for what's going on, why can't we take responsibility for ourselves? And I started to let the players put it on themselves because my players love me so much. They didn't want me to take any blame for anything. And then they started to realize, Coach is not playing the game. I'm playing the game. I told them in practice, I played all the football I can play. My wife won't let me do sports anymore because every time I go out there, I hurt myself. So I'm taking up golf right now. So shout out to golf clubs and everything like that keeps me safe. But my days are over, guys. This is on you. What are you going to do with this experience? You got to take advantage of it. I was like, it'll be all over in a minute. And the sad part is go to those players that it's all over with.
Yeah.
They can't play ball no more. Or they're in college now. I'm like, hey, they found something else to love.
Right.
So football is a tool, basketball is a tool that I use to teach those life lessons. I told you at the end of the day, you just want great members of society.
That's true.
So I really believe if you played on my football team or my basketball team, you're going to be a great boss one day. You're going to be somebody's boss. But I teach you guys, without telling you what it is, emotional intelligence. The ability to look at somebody else, care about somebody else, and have that empathy. A lot of people can't get that empathy for different people.
It's true. It's true. There's a big disconnect there when you don't have the ability to break down what you've been through, process it, and then regurgitate it into something positive. And
Amen.
One more shout out to Maverick out there, and we're going to be integrating Maverick into our shows coming up.
Maverick is a great dude.
He's been through a lot.
Maverick is a very positive individual.
Been through a lot.
Can't wait to meet you, Maverick.
Yeah. Well, you know what? He's going to be moving to Fort Walton. He's going to be getting stationed over there.
All right, military guy.
He'll be at Eglin.
Shout out for your service too, man. We appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'll tell you, it's awesome to be working in a place every day at Tyndall where you feel that sense of responsibility and security. It's made me more proud to do what I do. And don't get me wrong, being a teacher is something that, and when the first day of school comes this year, it's going to be weird that I'm not in the classroom. Mm-hmm. And I do miss not putting that one thing up on the board every day, you know. But you know, that's what we're trying to do now.
Yeah,
is put these messages out there.
We're putting those messages on the board.
We are. We're putting them everywhere that we can. And as far as these blog posts, thank you for people who have recognized that and have been reading them. Hopefully, you'll start getting some writing up there pretty soon.
I'm definitely gonna get some writing.
I want to see you. I want to see you writing up there.
I get my writing skills.
That's just something I enjoy doing because it lets me just be me. The writing I have to do for my job is so technical, and it takes you out of your personality. And you know, it's a job. It's something you got to describe to someone else and then pump them up and make them sound good. As far as what we're doing, though. Again, it goes back to impacting lives. If we can just, we always do that hashtag, reach one, teach one, okay? And whether it's in coaching, whether it's in teaching, whether it's somebody you walk past in Walmart, treat each other with respect. Be nice to each other. And, man, I feel like we could be making coaching point after coaching point, so I don't think we're done today. We're coming up on our target zone we want to be because, look, hey, we're being honest. We know attention spans now are like squirrel. So we know that we could keep talking. We know that we could do a seminar on coaching. Maybe we will one day. Maybe that's in the future. I would love to do that. I know I'm not done coaching. You know I'm not done coaching.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just resting. I'm just resting. And I want to give a shout out to you while we're talking to everybody right now. Thank you for what you're always talking me up around town. You're saying I can't believe Dave Ford's not coaching somewhere. I appreciate that. I think I think you think I'm a lot better than what I really am. But I love doing that because I want to better another boy, another girl. I want to push them to places they don't think they could go.
Yeah.
I want to push them to places in their mind that they don't give themselves credit for.
Yeah.
That's why we do what we do. I can't wait to go cheer you on at Rutherford. I can't wait to just be a spectator. I'm just looking forward. I get to watch you stress, and I'm just going to be a spectator. But I also know I'm going to be dying to get out there. Because a year ago this time, we were out summer workouts in North Bay Haven. We were out there grinding every single day. I do miss that. Okay, I do miss that. I want to be completely honest and transparent. There's not a day that goes by that I feel like I'm missing something.
Yes.
I'm missing a big part of me, but I'm trying to get that out to everybody out there, and that's a big reason why we're doing this. I will say this: there's a school that begins with the letter B, and it's not Bay, and they got an open position, and I'd love to have it. But it's just not the right time. And it's a lesson where I'm a sucker for a challenge. And I know I could turn that program around.
Amen.
I know I could.
Amen.
I know that I could get them winning in one season. That's not me. That's not bragging. That's just confidence. And I want to coach with this guy one day. I really do. I want to do it right. Maybe that'll be the last time I ever coach. But at some point in time, I want to coach by his side. I want us to take a group of individuals. I don't care if it's all boys. I don't care if it's all girls. It doesn't matter to me. Take a group of individuals who want to be there for the game, who want to be there for them, and be a family. Because when you break it down before practice and after practice, it's all you.
Oh, yeah.
It's on you. What happens?
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So please remember out there, everybody, that we say we're talking about coaching, but read between the lines and understand we're talking about life. I love sports so much, and I owe my whole life and my career to sports. It's given me everything and more. Other than God blessing me with these paths, I have learned so many life lessons from being a part of a team and not making it about the name on the back of the jersey, but the name on the front.
Yeah.
Okay? Any parting shots? Sorry to put you on the spot, but
Any what now?
what's another hot take you want to say about coaching?
Listen, guys, and everywhere, I want you guys to really start thinking about your hiring committees when it comes to these coaches. I really, really want you guys to think about. Maybe I can teach a class on hiring coaches committee. When you're in the interview, please ask coaching questions. I know you're not going to know the X's and O's, but don't look at a resume so much as looking at that person. So you start looking at these guys, especially a lot of guys in our community who deserve a head coaching job like yesterday. I want you to start looking at these guys, start looking at their background, looking at their character. How do the kids feel about them? I really feel like in this town, if Panama said, if we want to get to another level, you've got to hire from within. You got to stop saying, I'm going to go outside and I'm going to look at this resume. When you have coaches right here who have built resumes. I started in Little League football right here and have worked my way up. 2010, 11, I was coaching at Rutherford, and they told me, they said, well, you can never be a head coach because you don't have a degree. I went and got 3 degrees. 3 of them. 3 degrees just to be able to coach football. And coach basketball and do the different things I want. And when I get to that level, they was like, oh, well, we're going to hire this guy because this guy has more experience than you. Or we don't think you are old enough. I am 42 years old. I just look young. But I'm an old man. I've been through some things. I have a lot to offer. There's a lot of coaches here who have a lot to offer. And I see them skipped over all the time. And it just amazes me. I'm saying, why? What happened? What was their thinking on this? And then in 2 years, you're doing the hiring process all over again. Find somebody that's deeply rooted into the community that wants to be here, and your hiring process will be a lot better. One of my favorite coaches on the beach, he's Steve Milliner. Listen, I swear by him. He has the greatest philosophies when it comes to coaching football. Needs a head coaching position. It's so many guys out there I can go over and over and over again, and they think because we're Little League coaches or we're rec coaches that we don't know anything. I know how to inspire a kid better than anything, and it will make you jealous how much I know how to inspire a kid. And those are the things we got to start looking at when it's time to start hiring these guys. Not about X's and O's. It is all about what can I get out of this kid, and am I going to produce a great member of society? Are my kids going to graduate? Are my kids going to come home? Are they going to start? They're going to get off drugs? Listen, if you inspire a kid the right way, I promise you they'll be the light in dark places. We've got to seek out those guys and stop telling them, hey, we just want you to be an assistant coach. We just want you to coach running backs. We just want you to coach linebackers. No. If you want to hire me, I'm coordinator or better. You got to put your foot down when it comes to coaching. Don't mind being an assistant. I've done it for years now, but now it's time to stop playing games. It's time to stop playing with our kids in Bay County. They deserve some of the best coaches, and what we give them, we got to cut that out. We definitely got to cut that out. We got to get off this buddy system and hire the right guys for the job.
You're pretty good at the segue stuff, man. Because I'm going to take what you I'm going to take what you said right there and say one last thing before we get out of here, because we're reaching our target place. Saying the kids need us now more than ever. 70 plus kids in Bay County since Hurricane Michael have been Baker acted. That's a problem. That's a problem I take personally, and I know he takes it personally. I know we went into the classroom every single morning post Hurricane Michael with heavy hearts.
Yeah.
We were trying to help kids who were homeless, who had come from another school, who had they didn't want to be where we were because they got forced out of their home. Mm-hmm. And we knew this, and we knew that we had to keep going on with the lesson every day, with teaching towards testing standards, which is a subject that we'll get to some other day. Wink in the camera. Sarcasm, guys. I'm a Jedi Knight at it. Okay. The youth in Bay County need strong personalities who have their best interest in mind. Okay? And that is yet again another reason why we're doing what we're doing. We are on a mission. When we have a mission statement and we say that we're on a mission, and if we can just reach one kid at a time, one day at a time, just take one step forward, please, every single day. One step at a time, one punch at a time, one round at a time. Yes, that's another Rocky reference. You're going to hear a lot of them. Okay? Please be thinking about, for those of you in the Panama City area, and for those of you who I've seen joined in, Sean Andrews, dude, I miss throwing alley-oops to you, man. I miss that a lot. Dude, 6'7". Toss him to him, he can take care of business. So I appreciate you joining in, Sean. Mr. Alfonso Bell, miss seeing you around.
Bill.
Thanks for coming in. Doug across the street, you're right across the street from me and you're watching. I appreciate that. Miss Sheila Sexton Bland at North Bay Haven, thank you for joining in. Coach Manish, thank you for what you do. Thank you for service around town and just being a good friend. And Mr. JJ in Knoxville, Tennessee, man, I miss hanging out with you in the newsroom. Anybody else out there, again, Heather, who I grew up with and graduated with in high school, thank you so much for being with us today. Keep spreading the word about the J.O.B. podcast. We're going to start getting these rubber bracelets that I wear all the time. This one happens to say no excuses. We're going to get these printed up. We're going to get some merch going. We're going to get the word out there somehow, some way. People are going to be wearing what we're talking about. And that's another one of our taglines. Talk about it and be about it. Okay? Hurricane Michael one-year anniversary show is going to be coming up in about 2 months. It's going to be emotional. Please don't miss that. If you have any kind of feedback that you'd like us to talk about, the economics of it, the fault of the system, the fault of the neighbor who we talked about in our last show, who everybody was really nice at first and helping out, the guys in Bay County, and looking at all y'all, the attitude around here has got to change, it's got to get better. Somebody honked at me at a signal the other day. I just pulled up on it, turned green, and somebody honked at me like I was in Tampa. No disrespect, Tampa, that's my home. But come on now, be nice, be kind. All of us here are going to be trying to get back on our feet for years, 7-8 years, y'all, at least. Okay, so be kind. Last thing, Ty, thanks for joining in again today. Man, look, without this man right here, I wouldn't be where I am today, because I know that he's talked me up around town, and I'm forever thankful.
Definitely.
I am forever. I'm grateful for him every single day. He's become one of my closest friends I've ever had, and I don't keep a lot of friends on purpose. I keep a close circle. He's an extension of me, and that's a compliment to him. But also, he honors me every single day, so I honor him back. This is a brotherhood. It's not just a catchphrase. It is Journey to Brothers. We are brothers. We don't look alike. We don't come from the same place, but we're together on this journey. For Ty Steele, I'm Dave Ford. Thanks for joining in. Keep supporting. Give those likes on Facebook. Plug us on YouTube, Instagram. Like and share everywhere. We're going to come back sooner than we did last time. Episode 3 is going to come back hopefully sometime this week. We'll continue to do our individual videos.
Can I say one thing?
Go ahead, of course.
Oh, guys, listen. I just want to say, y'all be positive. Be positive throughout the day. You're going to see positive messages on my Facebook. My messages I put are never to hurt or take down anyone's character or do anything like that. I just put stuff in the atmosphere to make you think. Everything I do it in love. I'm never a spiteful person. I'm not petty unless I'm playing a video game with you. I'm trying to beat the brakes off of you.
Amen.
I'm never petty when it comes to things like that. I just genuinely love people, and I want us to all start standing for righteousness. If you know it's wrong, if you know it's not right, say something about it. Don't just go with the flow. Coach Ford never goes with just flow with me. I don't go with just flow with him. We disagree, but we can laugh, shake it off, and keep moving. We've got to learn to stop being so evil towards each other. We were so united after the hurricane hit. People are going back to their evil ways. People are saying whatever they want to say to you on Facebook or saying stuff in between the lies. Listen, you won't get me to argue with you on Facebook. I have too much respect for myself, and I got so many young guys watching my social media. I've got to be respectful and be the man of God that God called me to be at all times. So if you get me out of character, I was asleep and you was dreaming. It was a great dream you was having. It's not going to happen, but I love each and every one of you guys. And let's just keep it positive. We love the J.O.B podcast. I love what it's going to be. Right now, we probably struggling like, where's it going to go? We don't know where it's going to go. But we have a vision. And I think through God, all things are possible. So y'all continue to be humble. Continue to lift us up. We love the words of encouragement. We need that to feed off of every day. We're going to give it back to you. We're going to put stuff out in the atmosphere. And it's just to bless you. And if you don't like it, you don't receive it, just keep moving.
That's fine.
Just keep moving. It's okay. It's not for everybody. But somebody out there needs somebody.
Thank you, brother. For Ty Steele, I'm Dave Ford. This is the J.O.B podcast. Keep it peaceful. Keep it light. Keep it positive. Peace. God bless.
We can live it, that good life, yeah, so we can live it, yeah, that good life, now we can live it, yeah, we can live it.